welcome to the Good Neighbor podcast by Concerned Citizens of St. John. Today I have Mr. Robert Taylor, the co-founder and executive director of Concerned Citizens of St. John, my daddy, and I have Ms. Sharon Lavigne, the founder and director of Rise St. James.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming today. How y'all feeling?
Great.
Feeling good.
Yeah, it's a good day to be alive.
Yes.
Yes. So I have a few questions to kind of break the ground and let's just see how everybody feels. I want to know, when it comes to advocacy, we know that a lot of people hear about things going on in their community, but they always feel like it's someone else's responsibility.
hmm
Tell me how you felt. What sparked that fire in you? Did you always have this in you where you wanted to advocate, or were you beating up stopping the bullies from beating up children in school and
No.
doing all the good things? Tell
No.
me who you were growing up and how you just got this fire lit under you to do the things in advocacy that you're doing right now, Miss Sharon.
Well, when I heard about Formosa Plastics in April of 2018, I was teaching school, which I enjoyed doing. And Shamel called me, that's my daughter, to tell me that our Governor John Bell Edward announced on TV that Formosa Plastics would be coming to St. James. And I found out it was 2 miles from my home. I was in an organization called HELP, Humanitarian Enterprise of Loving People. And so we mentioned it to them at a meeting. And they said we couldn't do anything about it because the governor approved it. It was a done deal. There's nothing you can do about it. And so just leave that alone. And we said we were downhearted. We just felt like nothing we could do about it. But Geraldine Mayho, Beverly, Alexander, and myself, and a few others said, let's start an organization. And I said, I don't know anything about starting an organization. So they kept pressuring me for months. Then in October of 2018, we started Rise St. James. But Formosa was that spark. We had a march on November 3rd of 2018. We marched about One Chemical because they were coming on the East Bank. We marched about Formosa Plastics. Then from there, it flew. It just went in high gear. And we've been going ever since.
And Dad,
Mhm.
tell me about you. Tell me how you were inspired and about maybe your past. What were you doing before? Were you always in advocacy?
Uh, Sort of. In my from the music business on, I always was searching out people in the community, and then I went into construction, and some kind of way I found myself making deals with the state penitentiary to hire the guys that were paroling out. So sort of, I've always been sensitive to some of the issues in the community.
And what sparked that fire about this?
Oh, and when I found out, when I got the information from EPA, and it was made clear of the danger, not imminent, of the danger that we were in from these chemical plants. Especially, they were referring especially to Dinka. And when they informed us of the sort of pollutants that they were subjecting us to, and especially our children, I was mortified by that. I couldn't go to sleep. I couldn't go home and go to bed when I found out that the children were being exposed at such high rates. The people in general, but are we really gonna do this to our children? So I just had to do something. That stuff has still got me on the edge of the seat, So it's that kind of stuff when I looked around and saw, wow, we live in Cancer Alley? Oh, Cancer Alley? They know that? We're aware? Man, yeah. The motivation is there, still is. I don't see how it could ever go away.
Yeah. That's so easy for some. Not everybody though. But that's why it's so wonderful that we can have people like you and Miss Sharon that actually just picks up the challenge and takes it head on. And I know that you always get people to tell you how great you're doing and how, they appreciate you. And because not everybody is built to withstand this type of work, because it's not always easy. And, that's why it's so good to sit with you guys, because it's like I'm in the presence of who I like to say the godfather and the godmother of environmental justice in Cancer Alley at my table. At my table. It's so awesome, to have that privilege. So we collaborated with a lot of different organizations through the years when we first started out. And I know that, Ms. Sharon, you were at the table right along with that. I'm not sure when you two actually met. How did y'all meet?
Well, I saw him when he came to the church in St. James, when Cory Booker came to St. James. And I saw him standing up there telling his story. And I saw Miss Watkins. I saw a lady from Freeport. But I didn't know him. I didn't know anybody. I was in the church sitting there just listening. But I had never met him. But come to think of it, I don't know when we first met. I don't know. Maybe was it at the meetings, when we had the meetings at Chapatula Chapel? Maybe that's when we first met, officially meet. Yeah.
That's my recollection. It was
At Chapatula Chapel.
yeah, the head of that organization that you mentioned, Reverend Joseph, I think.
Help.
Help organization.
Help. He was the president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I formally met you and got to know you.
Okay. All right.
I just remember both of you, all of us together at Chapatula's Chapel.
Me too. I
because
remember
that was where we held our community meetings twice
Yes.
a month. And the community got to know the exposure levels of chloroprene
Yes.
to the community.
I remember that.
And we created CADA with a
CADA.
group of organizers from New Orleans and the surrounding areas who had been in advocacy for quite some time.
Yes.
And CADA was the acronym for Coalition Against Death Alley. We felt like
remember that.
death was more shocking than cancer,
Than
which I
cancer.
cannot even imagine, because a lot of people who hear Cancer Alley are not really happy to even hear that description of where
That's
we
right.
live,
That's right.
So I know that you marched twice
Yes, we did.
to Baton Rouge to get the attention of our governor, then John Bell Edwards. And,
Yes.
But we stopped every night,
Yes.
and a church hosted us.
Yes.
And I just felt so good being in a company and surrounded by all of that, even though we were dredging through the heat during
Yes.
the day.
It was heat. Yes.
I want to know if there's a positive experience that you had that you'd want to share with us doing those marches.
During those marches, we were so excited. I never forget, I think it was May the 28th or something. I was still teaching. And I think school had just closed. And our first march, we went down Burton Lane. And I had on my mask because I didn't want the people to see me marching, and I was still teaching. And so we had our poster, and we marched down there. We had Reverend Samuel Jones from Mount Calvary Church. His members were there. Police escorted us. It was wonderful. And then we marched for 5 days. We started from St. John to Baton Rouge. Then in October, we marched for 10 days from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. And it was so wonderful meeting people in every area we went to and listened to their stories. I didn't know we had so many communities that were so impacted with all of these chemicals. And I just didn't know it. And I learned a lot from speaking to the people. And that evening we had, just like you said, we had dinner at different churches. It just was so wonderful. It was a whole new world out there that I didn't know that was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
And how did you feel?
Oh, well, the marches came as a result of my desperation. See, because like I said, all doors were slammed in our face. We couldn't talk to the city. Our local parish council wouldn't have us. The state representatives on the state level, nobody would talk to us, and especially not the governor. He totally ignored us. Yeah. And so I knew that we had to do something to bring attention to our plight. and especially our major cause, which was the elementary school. So that's the reason that I chose the school as the site of the origin of the marches. So we started at the school. But, you know, a testimony to our ignorance about that kind of thing, mine especially, this was in the heat of the summer.
Yes, it was not the best decision.
Yeah, we didn't think about it. It's going to be 98 degrees
I know, we didn't think
out
about
here.
that. No,
Right.
sure didn't.
So that, but so many of the people, you know, that came and
marched with
endured
us.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, not the local people, but there were people who were sympathetic
Yes.
to us, who supported that.
That's right.
And they came and they endured that heat. And,
Mhm.
we survived it.
We survived.
We made it to the Capitol. Like she
Sure
said,
did.
we did it twice
Yes.
even. And only to be ignored still in
I know,
spite of all
I
that.
know.
But it was a bit more difficult for them to ignore the movement when you've got people marching 50 miles away in the heat to come to, you know, get your attention. It's harder to ignore us then, I realize. But they did pretty good at it. They ignored us pretty much.
Yeah.
But they couldn't keep us out of the eyes of the public.
Yes.
There were people looking at us.
Yes.
And that is from whence our help came,
That's right.
you know, because with the advent of the Biden administration, those people had been watching us. And I was shocked to find out. Because up to that point, that was from 2016 till 2021, we struggled, we fought, and we were totally ignored.
Yeah.
And then for me to get a phone call from this guy who said, "Hey, I'm Michael Regan. I'm the new EPA administrator, and we've been watching you guys, and we want to help you." Man, I was mind blowing.
Yes. Oh boy.
He offered to, and he did, come to reserve. Wow.
Yes.
From having a local council person ignore us
I know.
and having the governor of the state
Ignore us.
to having the EPA, the national head, actually come and bring all of that, it was mind-boggling.
Yeah, that leads to my next question was to ask you about how you felt with the Biden administration and all the things that they did, because it was a phenomenal time for everyone
Yes.
in environmental justice. And the journey to justice
Yes.
started that whole movement.
That's right.
And
Sure did.
Administrator Regan visited every parish. He visited
Yes. So,
your
sure did.
dad.
Yeah, he certainly did. But that culminated in what they call the Hans ruling. And to me, that's historic.
Yes.
See, that Han ruling, we need to understand that thing, it was going to change the whole face across America.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah, every chemical plant, every industrial site, they were going to have to adhere to EPA's rulings.
Right.
See, up to that point, EPA could come in and find out and even inform us, which they did, but they couldn't enforce it.
Right.
And man, when they came up with the Han ruling, Mr. Reagan did this whole country a great favor.
Yes.
That was going to save lives. That was going to save sufferings of people all over the country.
Yes.
That was a historic ruling.
And how do you like actually being a part of that, participating in the signing of the Han Rule, traveling to Washington, D.C., and speaking?
Well, the fact that he acknowledged us, you know, and my role in it, because I was so, I guess, so passionate in my pleas to him for help, you know, and certain areas of that thing was based on stuff we talked about. And I was certainly honored that he invited me to be at the signing and gave me a pin. You know how they did that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, she took all that
She
from
took
me.
your pen.
Yeah.
I have to preserve that.
I have
It's
my
for-
pen too.
For his own sake. For
Yes,
his own
yes,
sake.
I have my pen. Yeah, but
And
that was
Michelle?
an honor just to be invited to that presentation when he signed the Han rules. And I was standing right next to him when he handed me the pen. And I looked and I said, "Oh Lord, that's the pen." And then I have mine put away, you
Yeah.
know. But it was an honor just being there, just to witness that with Michael Regan.
Yeah.
And when Michael Regan came to St. James, we were so excited. And when he got off the bus, right there in Moonshine, and I said, I thought it was an older man that was coming off the bus. When I saw this young man, I said, you the same age with my son. And he asked me, how old is your son? I said, he's in his 40s. He said, well, I'm in my 40s too. And then I felt a warm inside. I felt a welcome, like he was glad to be there with us to help us.
Yeah.
And he came to the meeting. He came around the community, saw the areas. And after that, we had a meeting with him, and certain people asked questions, and it was wonderful. Then after that, Shamara and I went to D.C. to talk to him again about all this stuff that's still going on. And we told him that Charlotte had passed after he left, a few months after he left. Charlotte spoke out in that meeting. And he said, I think I remember her. And we sat down and talked with him, and he told us he's working on it. Then that's when the Hounds Rule came out after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, it was great. You know, the work that was done, it was so crucial, and we weren't getting any type of acknowledgement of what was happening. And when they actually came and investigated,
Yes.
and released that letter of concern, from EPA letter of concern, it like validated all the work. They had all of the public recordings of how the state wasn't really working for the community. You know, the things that they did was so great. They actually did a surprise inspection at Dinka and had to leave the facility.
I remember that.
So they had all types of proof that we were actually, it was okay for us to die.
Yeah.
For the community to just
That's
be
right.
poisoned, that
That's
LDEQ wasn't really regulating
That's
any
right.
of the emissions or enforcing any of the regulations that were already set. And the Han Rule was wonderful.
Yes.
It was absolutely wonderful.
was. Yeah.
So, would you give us an update on your advocacy with Formosa?
Well, right now it's still there. We went to court, and in 2022, Judge Trudy White ordered them to vacate the premises because they violated the Clean Air Act. LDEQ and Formosa appealed it. We went to the state court, and we had a 3-panel judge. 2 voted against us and 1 voted for us. So we appealed it, went to a 5-panel judge on December 24th, 2023. They still went against us. In July of 2024, we appealed it, and they denied our appeal. So now we're waiting on the Army Corps of Engineers. Right now, they can't build because they don't have that permit, the wetlands permit. And so they're still there, hoping that they get the permit so they can still come in. And lately, our parish council, Anthony Jasmine, reaffirmed Formosa Plastics against our wishes. And so now we're fighting that. So that's where that's staying right now. But right now, they haven't done anything, but we're still working to keep them out.
2 things you said. The first one was LDEQ and Formosa
And Formosa
together.
against us.
That's unbelievable.
That's
isn't
unbelievable
it?
because
That's
LDEQ is supposed to protect us.
That's the
But
Louisiana
they're siding,
Department.
that's right, they're siding with the plant against us.
The Louisiana Department of
Yes.
Environmental Justice.
Yes.
Quality.
Environmental quality. Let
Yeah,
me do it
environmental
again.
quality. Louisiana
The
Department of Environmental Quality.
Department of Environmental
Yes.
Quality. They're supposed to protect us,
Protect us
and the environment.
And the environment,
Was
and they are not
partnership with
the
Formosa.
industry. Yes.
And
And it's
them
not just Formosa, it's other ones too.
with just with industry
Just
in
with
general.
industry. Yes, in
We
general.
experienced the same thing with Dinka.
Yes.
The head of
Louisiana-
LDEQ came to our community to a school board meeting and a parish council meeting and made the same statement. What was that statement? I know you love it
The
so
one in the
much.
red
It
shirt?
just made you feel so good.
I remember you told me about it.
Well, yeah. When he appeared before, he appeared before the council first, you know, which is, like I said, it was broadcast over the parish.
Right.
But the council room is full. And he stood up and he asked them, he said, before I start, let me make this statement. He said, I want to bring to your attention this man here, Mr. Robert Taylor. He is the problem in the parish, not Dinka. Him and those
That's
people
awful.
in those red shirts, they are the problem that you're having in this parish, not DuPont Dinka. This is Mr. Chuck Brown, the head of Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality. He came to our community and accused me and the organization of being the problem in the community, not DuPont Dinka, who was poisoning and killing our people.
And what did he call you?
Well,
Yeah, tell him.
well, he said I was a troublemaker, among other things.
The word was fearmonger.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to
The
say.
word was fearmonger.
Well,
Yes.
as far as fear, I don't know if I was fear mongering, but I think I was motivated a lot by fear. You know, fear for the lives of those
I know.
400 children
Yes.
at Fifth Ward,
That's right.
Absolutely.
and for the health and safety of thousands of people
Yeah.
in our
Yes.
community,
Yes.
who Mr. Chuck Brown said they had to go because DuPont Dinka could not operate at that 0.2 point level. They weren't going to make any money. So he agreed that we should die
Yes.
so that they could make a profit.
That's right.
This man is saying this stuff
right.
in the public.
Yes.
You know,
Told me.
he's saying that I was a fearmonger. You know, because I was trying to bring awareness and hoping that people would fear the suffering and death of their children and the next generations.
It was unbelievable, especially since all the information that we were sharing
Yes.
came from their website.
And that's something.
It's like, wait a minute, everything that we have is from EPA and LDEQ.
That's right.
Downloaded from
Yes.
your website.
Yes.
It's the truth. You
Yeah.
know, we're just trying to tell people the truth. And it is frightening.
Yes,
He
it is.
actually pulled that information down.
Yeah.
When they first posted that, I guess they didn't think that we were going to be monitoring it. But the lady from Lean she agreed to monitor it for us. And when she brought us that information, that's what sparked us. And when Dinka found out, our attorneys actually caught the email that Dinka sent to Chuck Brown instructing him to take that down and not give us access to it.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm telling you? And he what's her name?
Miss Wilma Subra.
Miss Subaru contacted us. She said they've cut me off from the website,
Oh.
the state. And then that's when our attorneys called and said, here's the email. Dinka called him and told him to take it down. Don't let y'all get it. And he immediately responded.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was so obvious. How could? Of course, he had to resign,
Yes, he
and
did.
he's now
He
a
sure
big
did
wheel
resign.
working in
I
the
remember.
industry now.
Well,
though he went
remember.
right
That's where
back.
he needed to be.
Yes.
He was working for him the whole
He
time.
was
anyway.
already
That's right.
working
Yeah.
for him,
That's
and they
what this is
rewarded
getting at.
him for his work.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes.
frightening. The second one is your parish council person who actually represents the district that this plant is going to be,
Yes.
that Formosa is
Fifth
going
District
to
in St.
settle in.
James. Yes.
I know that you were looking for someone. The organization was looking for a leader that cared about the community.
They care about the community.
And this person actually presented himself as someone that was going to be an advocate for the community
Yes.
and for their health and,
Yes.
and the air. And what happened with that?
Anthony Jasmine would come to our meetings, and he knew what we stood for, and he talked with us and said, we asked him if you need to know anything, just let us know. And he would come to our meetings, and we thought he was the one, because we had to get the former one out of there because he voted for Formosa to come in to poison us. And then after we got Clyde out of office, then we got AJ, and we told him again, if you need any help, if you don't understand anything, just let us know. If we don't have the answer, we'll find the answer for you. And behind our back, the man looking for Formosa to come back in. And that was hurtful.
Yeah.
It's really hurtful.
Because he's the one who actually proposed to put it back on
To put
the
it back,
agenda.
yes. To put
Yeah.
it back on, yes.
Yeah.
And I went to the meeting myself to hear, and I heard it for myself. He said he did go back to Formosa to ask them to come back in. one of the councilmen in the 7th district asked him if Formosa came to him. He said no. He said he went to Formosa. And I was there listening.
It's
I
unbelievable.
don't know. So now he have to go. He have to get him out.
Yeah. We had one representative that stood with us, with my dad, Larry Saraparu,
Yeah,
who was
I remember.
counsel at large at that time. And so he stood firmly. If they cannot lower the emissions to the 0.2 micrograms per cubic meter of air that EPA says is safer,
Safer.
then they should shut down, one or the other. Be a good neighbor. That's what
right.
this is about, being a good neighbor. And of course, he was never reelected, but our
That's what I remember.
council
He
people
wasn't
didn't.
reelected.
Yeah, our other council people came in. We had a council for this district, councilwoman, and she did the same. Well, not as bad as AJ, but you know, she started off saying, you know, I'm going to fight for the community. It affects all of us. I have different symptoms and stuff like that, but then turned around and was pretty much working with them, with industry to put filters or something, you know, at the school, which was superficial.
Yes.
With the school. So it just hurts because we put these people in office.
That's right.
We elect them.
We elect them and we can take them out.
And we should be able to take them out.
That's right.
So it's so important when we do a podcast like this that we understand, well, that people would understand that they need to feel empowered. It's time for us to take our community back.
Yes.
It's time for us to make sure that we are good stewards of our community. We are a good neighbor.
Yes.
So we need everybody out there to understand that we're just average people. Y'all are
That's
just
right.
average people,
That's
a
right.
contractor and a school teacher doing your job.
That's right.
But when the call came, you answered.
That's right.
And that anyone who feels that passion inside of them, they should understand it doesn't matter how big it is,
That's right.
that we can stand.
That's right.
And we have to make a difference. The advocacy made a difference. Formosa might be pouring concrete right now and taking over your community,
I know.
but they're not. They've
right.
been delayed, and hopefully
6 years.
that's correct. That's
Been
correct.
delayed for 6 years, and for him to go back to reaffirm it,
Yeah.
something is wrong with this man.
Yeah.
He don't live close to where it would be built. I live 2 miles from where it's going to be built. He live about 10 miles from where it's supposed to be built. So he don't think it's going to affect him and
But
his
it
family.
will. But
It will.
Chloroprene touches this entire parish. The entire parish. Now we're at ground zero right here. 5th Ward Elementary, and our Catholic church is right there.
That's right.
And the community is at ground zero. But it covers the entire parish from Lake Maurepas and Pontchartrain to Lake des Allemands. No one is actually.
No one is safe.
No one is safe. And that's not what they understand. They think it's just one little
portion,
pocket
yeah.
of people.
Yes, that's right.
But in essence, no. And the students were coming from all over the parish to 5th Ward Elementary. So that meant it still wasn't safe
No.
either way. But our advocacy matters. Your advocacy matters. So, Dad, why don't you give us an update on Dinka?
An update on Dinka. Wow, Dinka. Well, just when everything to me was working in their favor, from what I could see, because the Trump administration was now in and turning everything around for the petrochemical industry. And I'm sure they were feeling their muscles now. They did a press release and said they were getting out, that they were quitting. Well,
You didn't believe that.
I don't believe it.
I know you don't.
Whatever they're doing, I mean, right now, I don't see any activity. With my limited ability to tell, with our limited ability, because we don't know what's in this air we're breathing. See, so they're telling us that they're out of business and they're transitioning now. They're leaving. We have no way of really knowing because we, but that would be wow. Yeah, that would be great to say the least. When I think about those children and those children's grandparents, when I think about our communities, our peoples who are suffering as a result of that, and that we can now begin to heal from that. because the harm they've done to us is there.
I know.
You know.
It's there.
But now, if we've gotten rid of that one, we can begin to heal from that. And I hope that encourages us now to know that we need to stand up and fight.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We can win.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Those little group of people, those little troublemakers with those red shirts on.
That's right.
We did it. It was done. You led it.
That's right.
Well, I was so surprised the whole world knew about it.
Yes.
You know, when I'm walking the streets of Paris, France, I'm amazed. I don't speak the language. I'm in this country. You know, I've read about this country all my life. And people coming up to me and saying, Fifth Ward Elementary in that broken English, you know, and they know my name. They know our plight. They know of our story.
Yes.
You know, I'm surprised, and everywhere I went, that was the case. I mean, in Tokyo, Japan, there were people who recognized me on the streets of.
What were you doing in Tokyo, Japan?
I went over there to see if I could have a talk with. That is the home company. That's where Denka is located. That's the So that was a part of my fight. So I had to travel to Tokyo on more than one occasion.
Right.
Of course, they just called the police for me. I mean, but the people were there. The people supported us, the local people. I even got a request from an organization up in Tokyo after I got back home to use our logo and stuff. They wanted to start advocating for us in Japan, for us. So, and to me, that's the irony of being at home and being opposed by local people. People
That's
who
right.
are suffering from this.
That's right.
The whole world is on our side working for us.
That's
And I
right.
come home and I got opposition.
I know.
You know.
That's something.
But hopefully now that they see that our efforts paid off,
Yes.
you know, and that reduction. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to Sharon, and some people, Sharon probably could tell you better about it, the chloroprene.
Yes, in St. James.
People in St. James now have been diagnosed with
Chloroprene
in
So
their
they have
system.
chloroprene metabolites.
in their urine.
Yes.
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 Oh,
Chloroprene.
wow.
I was surprised.
I'm not. The wind blows.
That's
There's
right, the
nothing
wind blows.
self-contained.
Yes, I
You
know.
know, that's unbelievable. So
I
on the
know.
west bank of St. James.
The West Bank. Well, I don't know. We did 2 people on the East Bank and 3 on the West Bank. I have to find out exactly if it was both sides or just one side.
Well, the whole point is there's no giant barrier
That's right.
between
That's right.
parish lines.
That's right.
and the wind blows. You know, and that's so important for people to understand. It's bigger than just a little group of
A little
people.
group of people.
It's
But our
everybody.
study is supposed to come out next year.
Okay.
We're going to let y'all know what
And
the
what
study.
type of study is that?
Urine analysis.
Okay.
And we had 5 people that had done the study. So now we're going to do 10 people.
Okay.
After sugarcane season is over with. We'll start collecting the urine
Okay.
in the air. So
Okay.
that's through Columbia University.
That's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
We actually had the study done where we had urinalysis of over 20 people. I think the first time, right? Was it?
Yeah, it
20?
was way more than 20 people.
Yeah.
You know,
And
yeah.
everyone tested. It
Everyone
didn't matter if you were
tested.
from the West Bank or,
the East Bank.
from the east side of Laplace, all the way on Main Street, Laplace. People still tested real high
Positive.
metabolites.
Ironically, the person who tested the highest was Mr. Larry Saraparu Sr. on the West Bank.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
right
Yeah.
across the river.
And the second highest was me.
What?
The second highest on the East
Oh,
Bank. And
boy.
I was the highest one on the East Bank. I had more of it in my system than anybody.
Oh,
And to understand what chloroprene does, it metastasizes. If there's any free radicals, anything in your body, you may have some recessive trait of something that's been passed down from generation to generation that'll never manifest. But what it does is attaches to that. And so that means we have all of these rare diseases, rare autoimmune diseases, because it attaches to something that would never show up otherwise. So we have people who have lived lives with sickle cell anemia, still surviving. But if you live along that fitness line and you have sickle cell, that one of my classmates, she passed at an early age. She was young when she died because it exacerbates whatever's there.
Yes.
So we don't have a fighting chance always because of the chloroprene in our body. Also, a newborn coming home to St. John the Baptist Parish, when they make 2 years old, they've exceeded their lifetime exposure of chloroprene, and that's like 74 years of chloroprene at 2. So right now you can live here and say, I'm getting out of here. I'm leaving and move. I don't care where you move. You have already been exposed to 75 years of it. It's not going away. So even when we have people in our community who moved away and they die from cancer or they have these rare diseases, it's still because of their exposure. And we have to understand that DuPont started the neoprene plant, started up in 1968.
Oh.
So that means they have been emitting unregulated amounts of chloroprene for over 50 years before they sold the plant to Dinka. So we have been exposed, and so once we started seeing people in the community getting sick and dying in the late 70s, early 80s, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, my grandmother had bone cancer, my uncle had lung cancer, my cousin had lung cancer. It was just going through the community. My brother was diagnosed with kidney disease at 3 years old, chronic kidney disease, and in and out of the hospital right now as we speak at 60 years old. My sister has a rare autoimmune disease and gastroparesis, 2 different things. That's not common.
That's not common.
That should not happen in your everyday life. That everyone is sick, and the people who have to take care of them, because you have to understand, when you're sick and fighting for your life, that's no quality of life.
No.
So my mom lived 22 years after being diagnosed with breast cancer, but she didn't live the best quality of life.
No.
She didn't do the things that she could have done if she were healthy.
That's right.
You understand? So, and the people who take care of her, the loved ones who have the responsibility of being there and taking care of someone, and the hopelessness that they feel. I know that this whole place has to be blanketed with depression.
Yes.
And we may never acknowledge that, but when you are taking care of your loved ones and they're dying right before your eyes, and you're wondering, am I next? Am I next?
That's right.
Because we hear people all the time say, well, I'm not sick. Well, I'm so happy for you.
Me too.
And I'm happy for me. And I'm happy for my 85-year-old dad. But that didn't happen to my sister. It didn't happen to my aunt my uncle and my grandmother and my mama. It did not happen that way.
That's right.
And just because you are lucky and blessed enough does not mean that the whole community should suffer.
That's right.
We need to save ourselves.
Yes.
Advocate for ourselves.
Yes.
Step up. Let's get those new leaders. Let's get those young leaders.
Yes.
And let them understand that their word, their voice can be heard and magnified all over. My dad, I know, as growing up, he never thought he'd be traveling all the way to Japan to speak to, trying to find some red beans and rice in Japan to eat, It's like, wait a minute, I need some red beans and rice.
Yes.
Yeah, and his special water that he has to drink, we got to do all of that.
Yes.
Traveling all over the world, going and speaking in Geneva, Switzerland. Gosh, not everybody gets to do that.
Me either. I never dreamed I'd be going to Taiwan.
And to Paris.
And Italy.
And Italy.
Yeah, I never dreamed that. I never thought anything about things like that when I was teaching school. I thought I was going to teach school for 40 years, but I stopped at 38 because I had a calling, so I had to stop teaching.
Yeah.
But I never dreamed I'd be traveling. And I never wanted to go that far. I never thought I'd go that far. But just like you said, the people welcomed him and met him and knew his name and all that. They did the same thing with me in Taiwan and in Italy.
Yeah.
And it's a whole new world out there. People recognize you and they're ready to talk to you and do everything for you. And I can get my own dinner and stuff like that, but they do all that for you.
Yeah.
They're so glad that we're doing the work.
Yeah.
But somebody had to do it. So God chose us to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, there's people out there that replenish that. They understand the fight.
Mm-hmm.
When we think of this community, when we're just trying to live every day
That's right.
and be comfortable,
Yes.
it's not easy to say, well, I'm going to also join the movement and advocate for the community.
Mm-hmm.
As
know.
much as we would love that and need that, we know that we still have to press on
That's right.
no matter what. So we want to influence people to come on out and join that movement.
That's right.
And we can make a difference.
Yes.
Let's build up new leaders.
Power's
But
in the
also
people.
know that the whole world is watching us.
It's watching us.
And
That's
they see us.
That's
they
right.
hear us.
That's right.
And that's why we're going to keep being the good neighbor
Yes.
that we are. So
That's
tell
right.
me what a good neighbor looks like to you, Ms. Sharon.
A good neighbor in St. James in Council Alley be a person that don't pollute the people and give them sicknesses and death. A good neighbor wouldn't do that to you. And a good neighbor would check out the community before you sign that contract to come into that neighborhood. When Formosa signed the contract to come into St. James, I was told they gave them a picture of no people, no houses there. So when they came, they saw, oh, that people live here. But they'd already signed the contract. That's what I was told. And so after they found out they had people there, they still didn't back down. They still wanted to come in.
Yeah.
But the people had to show them that we live here and you're not coming to take our land. You're not coming to live here. And we're going to stand on that.
Yes.
St. James is coming back to life.
Oh, I like that.
It's coming back.
Rise and what? Revive.
And reclaim.
And reclaim.
Reclaim
Rise
our,
and
reclaim our community. That's right.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Dash?
The definition of a good neighbor, I think, is I don't know why I would even. I can't think of a definition that an 8-year-old wouldn't already understand. You know, it's. But for sure, you're not going to come in and give everybody cancer. You're not going to come in and make people sick. You're not going to inconvenience. You're not going to lower the property values.
Right.
But more importantly, how can you be a human being and come in and cause death throughout the area?
That's right.
Yeah, a good neighbor is somebody who recognizes the rights of other people that we all have to life and liberty and happiness.
That's right.
Well, that was wonderful. That was wonderful.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And it
That's
is basic. It should just be basic humanity
That's right.
that we're all raised with.
That's
I
right.
think that's great. And thank you for joining our Good Neighbor podcast with Concerned Citizens of St. John. Thank you to my guests today, Ms. Sharon Lavigne and Mr. Robert Taylor, wonderful advocates who said, join us. Let's work together and let's clean up this area and make it safe for everyone. Thank you.